Hey YouTube, this is the one and only Damian Moody, also known as Cash Your Majesty or Ray Ron Hood, and I am coming to you live on the Cash Your Majesty channel. Um, happy Women's Month. As y'all know, March is Women's Month, and I've been slacking again because I was supposed to do videos for Black History Month, and then I thought about doing videos for March, which is Women's Month. I've been slacking for 2 days. Today is March 3rd. So, once again, happy Women's Month. And in today's video, I wanted to read about two women. I'm going to try my best. I might not do it every day, but I'm going to try my best to come on live every now and then. Reading about different women. I'm going to come on live reading about different women. Or at least trying to. This phone is going off non-stop. For whatever reason, I have no idea. It is multiple notifications. That is what my phone likes to do. It likes to go off. Anyway, so the first woman I would like to read about is Linda Martell. Now, most of you may not know who Linda Martell is, and I am going to read about her. If you're Beyonce fans and you got your Cowboy Carter album, she was on the Cowboy Carter album. Um, on one song called the Linda Martell Show, and I believe she also had spoken word on the song Spaghetti, which is also on the. Yep, she's on the Martell show with Linda Martell, and she also is on Spaghetti. Yeah, I don't think she's on any other songs. Okay, sorry about that. That's not what I wanted to look at. All right, so y'all see, Linda Martell, born Thelma Bynum, June 4th, 1941, is an American singer. She became the first commercially successful black female artist in the country music field and the first to play the Grand Ole Opry. As one of the first African American country performers, Martell helped influence the careers of future Nashville artists of color. Born and raised in South Carolina, Martell listened to country, gospel, and R&B music. In her teens, she formed a singing trio with her family titled Linda Bartell and the Anglos. Is it Anglos or Angelos? I believe it might be Angelos. I'm sorry. During the 1960s, the group recorded a handful of R&B singles and sang alongside other black performers. However, the group had little success and soon parted ways. Performing as a solo act, Martell was discovered singing country music and on an Air Force base. Sorry, it says Martell was discovered singing country music on an Air Force base. I'm sorry. This led to an introduction to producer Shelby Singleton, who signed her to his Nashville label in 1969. The same year, the label released her country cover of Color Him Father. The song became a top 25 single on the Billboard charts, and her debut album followed in 1970. Martell made several appearances on country music television programs and released two more singles with Plantation. She also made her first appearance on the Grand Ole Opry during this time. She later performed there 12 times. Following a series of business conflicts with her manager, Duke Raymer, and producer, Martell left her recording contract. She then retired from the country music industry in 1974, following a lack of success. Over the next several decades, she lived in various states and continued performing music. To make a living, she worked in public education and returned to South Carolina in the 1990s. In 2021, the CMT Music Awards honored Martell with the Equal Play Award. In March 2024, Martell was featured on two tracks of Beyonce's eighth studio album, Cowboy Carter, including Spaghetti, which generated her first Grammy Awards nomination. So she was born Thelma Bynum, June 4th, 1941. She is currently 83 years old in Leesville, South Carolina. Her occupation as a singer, her years active was 1962 to 2011, and then currently 2024. Her spouses was Clark Thompson, married 1960, divorced 1966. Ted Jacobs, divorced. She has three children. Her genres is country and R&B. Her instrument is vocals. Her labels was Fire, Plantation, and VJ. I don't know if they have any pictures of her on this Wikipedia page, so when I'm done, I'll find some pictures of her to show y'all what she looked like for those who may not know who she is. Delma Bynum, June 4th, 1941. As one of five children born to Clarence and Willie Mae Bynum in Leeville, South. Her father was a sharecropper while her mother worked many hours at a chicken slaughterhouse. To avoid helping with sharecropping duties, Martell learned to make dinners for her family when she is 7 years old. Her father was also a preacher, which inspired her earliest music. She sang gospel music at church and was also drawn to country music. Clarence Bynum regularly listened to the country music of Hank Williams on WLAC based out of Nashville, Tennessee. Until we got to our teens, we knew country music and that was it. She told the Courier Post in 1998. Martell, her sister and cousin, then formed a singing trio. They called the Angelos. Oh, is it Angelos? Angel? What the heck? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Because people use J and G and pronounce it all different ways. Anyway, the group the group performed R&B music and sang in areas around Columbia, South Carolina. Local DJ Charles Big Saul Green convinced her to change her name from Thelma Bynum to Linda Martell. Your name is Linda Martell. You look like Linda. That fits you, Green told her. Okay. In 1962, the Angelos took an 8-hour bus ride to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, to record their first R&B single. Renamed Linda Martell and the Angelos, Fire Records released. The Angelos. Oh my God, I'm gonna just call them the Angelos. Fire Records released "A Little Tear Was Falling from My Eyes" the same year. The single was unsuccessful. The group performed regularly. They also sang backup vocals for R&B performers such as the Drifters and Jimmy Hughes. Linda Martell and the Angelos, sometimes credited as the Angelo. Okay, so I'm gonna keep calling them the Angelos. Released several more singles on the VJ label, such as "Lonely Hours." David Brown of Rolling Stone called the song "Simmering Forlorn Girl Group Pop." The group parted ways after her cousin got married. Her sister left the group soon after, and Martell was a solo act for the first time in her career. For several years, she continued singing R&B music while singing on the South Carolina Air Force Base. Martell was heard singing country songs by Nashville furniture salesman William Duke Rayner. He offered to air what he offered to arrange to to arrange. I'm sorry, for the demo record to be made, but Marcel originally declined his offers, thinking he was a cook or a coup. However, after much encouragement, Martel accepted his proposal and Renner became her manager. With a recent country music success of Charlie Pride, Rayner believed Martel could be accepted within the same industry. I figured that if I could find a colored girl that could sing country and western, I really had something, he told Ebony in 1970. She then flew to Nashville where she met producer Shelby Singleton. With Rayner present as well, Martell recorded a demo record. She also met with Singleton, who convinced her to record as a country singer. Martell was at the decision. I was a little bit shocked. I was mostly doing pop, but he said, "You got to go country," she told Rolling Stone in 2020. On May 15, 1969, Martell signed a management contract with Rayner and signed with Singleton's Plantation record label the next day. The Plantation nameplate, whose derived from slave plantations in the American South was disliked by Martell. However, she felt she had no choice but to go along with it. Soon after her signing, Singleton found material for Martell to record for the label. Along with the uh, Among the first records he found was "Color Him Father," a then recent pop song by the Winstons. She recorded the song and 10 other tracks in one 12-hour work session. The song was issued as Martell's first plantation single in July 1969. It climbed to number 22 in the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart. Its follow-up was Martell's interpretation of Before the Next Teardrop Falls, which was later covered by Freddie Fender. Martell's version reached number 33 on the Billboard Country chart in 1970. In August 1970, her debut album was released on Plantation Records style Color Me Country. The record reached number 40 on the Billboard Top Country Album chart. The album was reviewed favorably by Billboard in 1970, which found her country singing style to be authentic. In later years, AllMusic rated the record 3.5 stars with similar commentary. Her final charting single was issued around the same time, titled "Bad Case of the Blues." With her new success, Martell was high. Yeah, that's why I want to start acting slow. With her new success, Martell was hired by a booking agent, Hubert Long, who helped arrange several entertainment opportunities. She soon made television appearances on The Bill Anderson Show and Hee Haw in 1970. She also made her debut on the Grand Ole Opry radio broadcast after Rainer played her recent record for an official at the company. With her Opry debut, she became the first black female artist to play the show and eventually performed there until 12. Oh my God. Why the hell is this phone acting stupid? Golly. I don't even remember where the hell I was. Okay. In American in South, she was marketed as the first female Negro country artist and was put on package shows with country artists Jennings and Hank Snow. Martell later recalled that performing as a black country artist was often challenging. She remembered being taught by a white audience who often shot racial slurs while she was performing. "You're going to run into hecklers," and I did. "You felt pretty awful," she told Rolling Stone. As Martell's country music career progressed, the taunting lessened but never entirely went away. According to Rolling Stone, the name calling continued to cause her professional conflict, but Martell continued performing nonetheless. She also ran into other professional conflicts. In May 1970, Rayner sued her because he believed he deserved a higher commission. Singleton helped bring attention away from the lawsuit. Singleton also informed Martell that he would not be promoting her as heavily because he found that label peer Jenny C. Riley was selling more records. Martell then left her contract with Plantation and cut several tunes for different labels. Singleton found out and threatened to sue the company. He blackballed me. It ruined my reputation in country music, she recalled in 2020. After several more years of limited success, Martell ultimately chose to retire from the national music industry. After leaving Nashville, Martell remained active in other sectors of music. For about 2 decades, she sang in small clubs in different parts of the United States, California, Florida, and New York City. And held various jobs, entertaining on a cruise ship and opening a record shop. In 1991, she returned to South Carolina to be closer to her children. To make a better living, she became a bus driver for her home regions. She also continued to perform in a band on weekends where they entertain functions such as family reunions, weddings, and fraternity celebrations. Excuse me, fraternity. While many residents of her local area were not aware of her former success, co-workers at her school building did. In one high school assembly, a principal spoke of her earlier work. Others study about Black history. We have Black history right here in our own school. In the mid 2000s, Martell retired from her public school career and last performed publicly in 2011 with her band Easy. In July 2020, in January, I'm talking July. In January 2014, a Swedish TV program entitled Jill's Ver- Veranda Nashville, translated as Jill's Porch Nashville, documented the search for an interview of Martell. The show's host traveled to South Carolina to meet Martell, discuss her music, and why she abandoned her recording career. The host also performed with Martell on some of her songs. She became a topic of conversation in 2020 after country artist Ritchie Palmer named her Apple Music podcast after Martell's 1970 album Color Me Country. She also supports under the underrepresented voices of BIPOC artists and country music through the Color Me Country Artist Grant Fund. In 2021, a GoFundMe campaign was launched by Martell's granddaughter to create a documentary about her career and struggles as a black performer in Nashville. In 2024, Martell appeared on Beyonce's country focused Ace studio album, Cowboy Carter. She made two spoken word appearances on the track Spaghetti and the Linda Martell Show. On Instagram, she commented, I am proud that Beyonce is exploring her country music roots. What she is doing is beautiful, and I'm honored to be a part of it. It's Beyonce, after all. At the 67th Annual Grammy Awards, Spaghetti received a nomination for Best Melodic Rap Performance, becoming Martell's first nomination At the ceremony. All right, this is just a list of artistry and influence. Martell has been married twice. At age 19, she first wed drummer Clark Thompson. The couple had three children. In 1996, the pair separated and she later remarried business owner Ted Jacobs. Jacobs also brought one child from his first marriage, and the family lived in Nashville where Martell was signed to Plantation Records. She discussed her domestic life with Ebony magazine in 1970, explaining the challenges associated with being a traveling performer while also being a wife and mother. I'm used to spending time with my family, she recalled. After leaving the country industry, Jacobs and Martell separated. Jacobs' business partner and Martell then started a romantic relationship. Together, the couple traveled and lived in several states before Martell returned to South Carolina. In 2004, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and underwent radiation treatment, making a full recovery. She later moved in with one of her children in South Carolina. Her only album is Color Me Country, released August 1970, label Plantations, formats LP, peak chart position US Country 40. So that is about to. And for those who may not know who Linda Martell is or what she looks like, that is a picture of Linda Martell. This is a picture of Linda Martell. No, that's not Linda Martell. Here's a beautiful picture of Linda Martell. This is a picture of Linda Martell. This might be Linda Martell. No, I don't know. Some of these pictures are her. No, this might be Linda Martell now. Yeah, I believe that's Linda Martell. The next artist I choose to read about, I know for sure everybody would know. Jill Scott. Jill Heather Scott, born October 4th, 1972, is an American singer, songwriter, model, poet, and actress. Her 2000 debut album, Who is Jill Scott? Words and Sounds Volume 1, went platinum, and the follow-ups Beautifully Human, Words and Sounds Volume 2, 2004, and The Real Thing, Words and Sounds Volume 3, 2007, both achieved gold status. Scott made her film debut in 2007 in Hound Dog In Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married? In 2008, she starred in the BBC HBO series The Number One Ladies Detective Agency, based on the novels of the same name by Alexander McCall Smith. After a 4 year hiatus from music, Scott released her fourth album, The Light of the Sun, in 2011. In 2014, she starred in the film Gilling Up as Dee Dee Jenkins, the second wife of James Brown. In 2015, she released her fifth album, Woman. Beginning in 2018, Scott appeared in the CWDC Comics superhero series Black Lightning as Lady Eve. This is a picture of Jill Scott in 2012. Scott, April 4th, 1972, currently at the age 52. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, of course. R&B, soul, neo soul, hip hop, spoken word, and jazz is her genres. Her occupations is singer, songwriter, model, poet, actress, instrument, vocals. Years active, 1981 to present. Labels, Hidden Beach, 2000 2010, Blues Babe, Warner Bros, 2011 2013, and Atlantic, 2014 to present. Her spouses is Liza Williams, married 2001, divorced 2007. Mike Dobson, married 2016, separated 2017. Her website is Miss Jill Scott. Let me see how much this. How much? All right, this don't look too bad. Scott was born on April 4th, 1972, in Philadelphia. She grew up an only child in a North Philadelphia neighborhood, raised by her mother, Joyce Scott, and her grandmother. She recalls her happy childhood, saying she was very much a loved child. Jill Scott's maternal ancestry has been traced to the Jola people of Guana, Guana Bissau. Okay. She was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. After graduating from the Philadelphia High School for Girls, Scott attended Temple University. While working two jobs, she studied secondary education. She planned to become a high school English teacher. However, after 3 years of study and then working as a teacher's aide, Scott became disillusioned with a teaching career and she dropped out of college. Her career as a spoken word artist, appearing at live poetry readings to perform her work. She was eventually discovered by Amir Thompson of The Roots. Questlove invited her to join in the band in the studio. The collaboration resulted in the co-writing credit for Scott on the song "You Got Me." In 2000, Erykah Badu and The Roots won a Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group for "You Got Me." And Scott debuted as an artist during a Roots Loud show, singing the original artist singer uh singing as original artist singer of the song. Afterwards, Scott collaborated with Eric Benet, Will Smith, and Common. She broadened her performance experience by touring Canada in the production of the Broadway musical Rent. Scott was the first artist who signed to Steve McKeever's Hidden Beach Recordings label. Her debut album, Who is Jill Scott? Words and Sounds Volume 1 was released in 2000. She experienced some notice and chart success with the single Long Walk, eventually earned a Grammy nomination in early 2003 for Best Female Vocal Performance. Scott lost that award but won a 2005 Grammy for Best Urban Alternative R&B Performance for Cross My Mind. The live album Experience Jill Scott 826 Plus was released November 2001. The record full-length album, Scott's second full-length album, Beautifully Human, Words and Sounds Volume 2, followed in 2004. Scott continues to write poetry. A compilation volume of her poems, The Moments, the Minutes, the Hours, was published and released by St. Martin's Press in April 2005. I actually plan on getting that book. And Scott was featured on the George Benson and Al Jarreau collaboration single Child written by Billie Holiday, which earned Scott her second Grammy for Best Traditional R&B Vocal Performance at 2007 Grammy Awards ceremony. Scott shared the win with Benson and Jarreau. In 2006, Scott was promi- prominently featured on the hip hop artist Lupe Fiasco's single "Daydreaming," which won a 2008 Grammy for Best Urban Alternative Performance and also appeared on the new Sky collection called Collaborations on January 30th, 2007. The Collaborations collection served as an appetizer for her next studio album, The Real Thing Words and Sounds Volume 3, released September 25th, 2007. A clip of the title track was released on the bonus disc from Hidden Beach Records and included with collaborations. The lead single Hail Me gained airplay in May 2007 with a video release in mid-July. In advance of the album's release, Hidden Beach released a 7-minute album sampler through their forums. Interspersed between a dozen songs preview on the sampler was a personal explanation from Jill for the inspiration behind some of her songs. In 2008, Scott released her second live album, Live in Paris Plus, which consists of 8 songs recorded during her set list of the Big Beautiful Tour in Europe. A bonus DVD contains the same concert plus some live cuts from The Real Thing Words and Sounds Volume 3. In the same year, Whenever You're Around, single from The Real Thing, which features George Duke, was a moderate hit on urban radio. Early in 2010, Scott was sued by Hidden Beach Records for leaving halfway through her 6-album contract and owing millions of dollars in damages. Founder Steve McKeever claimed that he helped launch Scott's career and nurture her into a Grammy-winning singer-songwriter, but was unceremoniously dumped in October after a 10-year-plus relationship. Scott, however, countersued in response. To offset the damages, Hidden Beach plans to release several compilation albums consisting of previously unreleased material by Scott. The first album in the series was the original Jill Scott from the Vault, Volume 1, previously titled Just Before Dawn. The album was asked to be paused by Scott so that fans would not get confused with the new material she is releasing, especially the new studio album, The Light of the Sun, which was also being released around that time under a distribution deal that Scott and Warner Brothers signed in early 2011. The deal gives Scott direct control over her marketing and promotions and releases her music under her imprint of Blues Bay Records. She also signed a multi-tour deal with Live Nation to expand her concert touring. The Last Son officially began production in 2010. Scott gave fans a preview of her music on her 18th Stephen Renew co-headlining tour with R&B singer Maxwell, entitled Maxwell Just Got the Tour. After his tour, Scott began studio sessions with the album's executive producer H.R. Hudson. Recording sessions took place in several locations, including 9th Street Studios, Studio 609, Fever Recording Studios in North Hollywood, California, Threshold Sound and Resonance South in Santa Monica, California, in the studio in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Boom Boom Room in Burbank, California, and the Village Studios in West Los Angeles, California. It features collaborations from Anthony Anderson, Eve, Dougie Fresh, and Paul Wall. The album was released for pre-order days before it was officially released on June 21st, 2011. It debuted at number one on the U.S. Billboard 200 chart with 135,000 copies sold in its first week, becoming her first number one debut on the chart. The album was preceded by the promo single Shame, which was released on Scott's SoundCloud account on April 2012. The single features the rapper Eve and R&B trio The A Group. The video was released on Essence.com on April 2000 and on April 13. The album's official debut single was Song Love featuring Anthony Anderson. It was released in April and debuted at number 43 on the U.S. Billboard High R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. Scott's highest debut on the chart. It peaked at number 10 and tied the record with Maxwell's fortunate for spending 14 weeks at number one on the Urban Adult Contemporary chart. Scott promoted the album in several ways, including the Light of the Sunday, several online Essence interviews, and releasing the album as an iTunes LP, giving fans paid access to exclusive photos and videos. Scott also embarked on her Summer Block Party tour, sponsored by Budweiser Superfest. The tour was a hit, selling out venues throughout the country with open acts Anthony Hamilton and legendary group Mint Condition. It also featured Dougie Fresh as a host and DJ Jazzy Jeff as the DJ. The album's second official single, So Gone, What My Mind Says, featuring Paul Wall, was released in August 2011, and the video premiered on September 13th on E! Online. It peaked at number 28 on the U.S. Billboard High R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. Scott also released a video for the song Hear My Call. The project gained Scott four NAACP Image Awards, including Outstanding Female Artist, Outstanding Music Video for Hear My Call, Outstanding Song for Song Love, and Outstanding Album for The Light of the Sun. During her performance at the Essence Festival, Scott indicated intention of releasing the album of Lullabies Her album "Woman" is the first album she released on Atlantic Records. The album debuted #1 on the Billboard 2000 albums chart with 58,000 copies sold in its first week. On May 9, 2020, Jill Scott and Erykah Badu came together for the first live stream battle between women. During the 3-hour Instagram Live, the two friends live streamed their hits as well as songs they had written for other artists. More than 700,000 viewers tuned into the battle, including Christina Aguilera, Michelle Obama, Spike Lee, Quincy Jones, and Janet Jackson. Her live performance 2004 with members of The Roots, which also includes a joint performance with Erykah Badu, is featured in Dave Chappelle's 2006 Dave Chappelle's Block Party. UK dance duo Goldtricks covered Scott's song "It's Love," renaming it "It's Love Trippin'," with singer Andrea Brown taking over vocal duties. The song became a top 10 hit in the UK, peaking at #6. Jill is also featured on the Lupe Fiasco song named "Daydreamin'." "It's Love Trippin'" was also covered by Southwest Beats Patrice in 2008. The song "Golden" was featured on the R&B themed radio station in the Rockstar Games video game Grand Theft Auto, 4? I remember. She recently appeared on Pharaoh Monch 2011 release WAR We Are Renegades. Also, Jill is one of the featured artists on I mean, feature artist in Kurt Franklin's video "I Smile" released in 2011. In 2012, rapper Substantial released "Jack and Jill." The album was recorded as a tribute to Jill's voice and songwriting. In 2015, she was featured on Dr. Dre's third album. In 2016, she was featured on the Hamilton mixtape. Scott is a soprano who has infused jazz, opera, R&B, spoken word, and hip hop in a style often called neo soul. A reviewer at Pop Matters, referring to Scott's vocal ability for soprano, stated Scott draws on her upper register, recalling the artistry of the late songbird Minnie Riperton and Denise Williams. The same reviewer, in another article, stated the song invokes the artistry of Minnie Riperton as Scott sings in the upper register that makes its only appearances on Who Is Joe Scott on the teasing I Think Is Better and Show Me. The other reviewers have celebrated her for putting bass in her soprano voice, elegant vocals, warm womanliness, and populating her music with images of regular people. For some, she was the girl next door for a different side of America. You are Anupa Mystery writes. Scott's attention to conversations and consciousness in her popular community in Black America at large solidify her music as being of the people. She wrote about hip hop, jazz, reparations, Abrahamic religious texts, soul food, and what colors do to your balls. The noted and imprisoned activist Mumia Abdul Jamal uh, diasporic audition going to the market and late nights on the phone. Jelly from Philly, keeping it real. Okay, I'm lost. Okay. Advice of her good friend director Ozzie Jones, she began pursuing a career in acting in 2000. She joined the fellowship at the Dare Company. Her theater debut was in Todd Perry's Neighbors from Hell. Huh? For 2 years, she took menial what? For 2 years, she took menial jobs in exchange for acting lessons. In 2004, Scott appeared in several episodes of season 4 UPN's Girlfriends, playing Donna, the love interest to main character William Dent, uh, portrayed by Reggie Hayes. She also appeared in the Showtime movie Cave Dwellers, starring Ba- Bacon and Kyra Sedgwick. I don't know. Her first feature occurred in 2007 when Scott appeared in Hound Dog as Big Mama Thornton in Todd Perry's movie Why Did I Get Married. Scott appeared as Precious Remote Remote Sway in Anthony Minghela's film adaptation of Alexander McCall Smith's series of books, the number one lead detective agency playing the detective. Scott then filmed additional episodes for the series of Botswana in late 2008, co-funded by the BBC and HBO, that were broadcast as a seven-part series on BBC One in March 2009 and on HBO, which debuted March 29, 2009. BBC and HBO are contemplating whether to pursue a second round of episodes for the series. In 2010, she provided the voice of Storm. What? In 2010, she provided the voice of Storm of the X-Men on the BT series Black Panther. Okay. On March 24, 2010, she guest starred in an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. She reprised her role as Sheila in Why Did I Get Married To in 2010. The movie was shot in August 2009 and received the April 2nd, 2010 release. The same year, Sky starred in the Lifetime movie Sins of the Mother as Nona, an alcoholic mother confronted by her estranged daughter whom she neglected. At the 42nd NAACP Image Awards, Scott was awarded Outstanding Actress in a Television Movie Miniseries or Dramatic Special for her role in Sins of the Mother. Scott appeared on VH1 Storyteller. She performed a few of her most notable songs, such as Golden and He Loves Me, with wig as well as costume changes. She created characters to fit each song. Later in 2012, she Starred with Queen Latifah, Alfre Woodard, Felicia Rashad, Depro Adoye, and Con- Condola Rashad in Still Magnolias, a remake of the 1989 original for Lifetime. She played Trudy Jones, a role originated by Dolly Parton. In December 2012, Scott appeared in The Humankind, the eighth episode of the fifth season of Friends. She starred with Paula Patton and Derek Lucan back in 2013, the film adaptation of playwright David E. Tilbert's 2005 novel of the same name. In in January 2015, she co-starred with Regina Bell and Eve in the Lifetime movie With This Ring. And since 2018, Scott played a recurring role in the CW's Black Lightning as villain Lady Eve, a ruler of the chemical, uh, a criminal empire, and foe of superhero Black Lightning. This damn phone's getting on my nerves. In 2019, Scott starred in First Wives Club, a TV adaptation of the 1996 comedy about three divorced wives who share a common past. The show is available on BT streaming service BT Plus and also stars Ryan Michelle Bath and Michelle Buttle. The show was renewed for a second season. Scott and long-term boyfriend Lizel Williams, a graphic artist and DJ, married in 2001 a private Hawaiian ceremony during the vacation. The couple dated for 7 years before they wed. She wrote and recorded the song "He Loves Me." Lizel and E fled about Williams. After 6 years of marriage, Scott and Williams divorced in 2007. Scott was reside. Scott has resided in Mount Laurel Township, New Jersey, and California. As of December 2014, she lives in Tennessee. On June 20, 2008, at a concert in Carnegie Hall in New York City, Scott shared a long onstage kiss with her drummer, Lil John Roberts. The couple then told the audience that they were engaged. Their son was born in 2009. On June 23rd, 2009, Scott announced that she and Roberts had broken up, with Scott breaking the news on to Essence magazine. Well, damn, that was short. In 2003, Scott established a Blues Bay Foundation program founded to help young minority students pay for university expenses. The foundation offers financial assistance to students between the ages of 16 and 21 to focus on students residing in Philadelphia, Camden, and the greater Delaware Valley. She donated 100,000 to start the foundation. The foundation was named after Scott's grandmother, who was known as Blue Bay. In spring 2003, the Blues Bay Foundation made a donation for more than $60,000 to the graduating class of the Crave Art School in Camden. Any student during the ensuing 3 years who maintained a 3.2 GPA qualified for stipends for his or her college education. At the Essence Music Festival in July 2006, Scott spoke out about how women of color are portrayed in hip hop songs and music videos. She criticized the content for being dirty, appropriate, inadequate, unhealthy, and polluted, urging the listening audience to demand more when selecting music. Okay, so her albums are Who is Jill Scott? Words and Sounds Volume 1, 2000, Beautifully Human, Words and Sounds Volume 2, The Real Thing, Words and Sounds Volume 3, 2007. Oh, the second album, Beautifully Human, was 2004. The Real Thing, Words and Sounds Volume 3, 2007, Light of Sun, 2011, Woman, 2015. Concert tours is Words and Sounds Tour 2001, Buzz Tour 2004, Big Beautiful Tour 2005, Sugarworth Festival 2005, The Real Thing Tour 2008, Maxwell Joe Scott The Tour 2010, Summer Black Park 2011 and 12, The Evening with Joe Scott 2011 12, Live in the Moment Tour 2018-19, Who is Jill Scott 20th Anniversary Tour 2020. She is in 2004. She's in Craig Wilder. She played Rosemary. In 2007, she is in Hound Dog is Big Mama Thornton. She was in While I Get Married as Sheila. 2010, While I Get Married to as Sheila. She is in Fade and Gigolo in 2013. Unnamed. Baggage Claim is Gail Best. Get On Up in 2014. She played Deidre Dee Dee Jenkins. 2017, Love Beats Rhyme, Professor Dixon. In 2023, Outlaw Johnny Black as Maul Bell. And then she's in a list of different TV shows. She did one documentary. So that is all I have when it comes to Jill Scott. Big shout out to Jill Scott and Linda Martell. I'll be back with y'all. I'll be back with y'all in another video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit be notified. Yeah, and I'll get back at y'all.